If your study plan ends with a panic cram, your system is broken. Let's rebuild it from scratch. You don't fall behind. You slowly negotiate with the work until it explodes. Then you spend one brutal night trying to buy back weeks with caffeine and fear. In this video, you'll install a monk mode routine that makes progress automatic. You'll know exactly what to do each day and how to recover when you miss. Most students aren't lazy. They're overloaded. Your brain is crowded with notifications, open loops, messy tabs, group chats, and unfinished tasks. That constant input kills deep work, focus, and time management without you noticing. Monk mode is a short, focused season where you remove the noise so your mindset can breathe. And in the middle of this video, you'll make one calendar change that kills "I'll catch up later" for good. Once you see it, exam week stops feeling like a cliff. Cramming is what happens when studying is optional. It's 3:26 p.m. on a Thursday. You're in the campus library with 90 minutes before your next class. Your backpack hits the table, and 3 weeks of handouts slide out. You open your notebook and see half-finished outlines, random definitions, and questions you never answered. You tell yourself you're going to start strong, but you don't know where to start. So you do what feels safe. You rewrite headings, clean your notes, and sort papers into neat piles. It looks like productivity, but it's avoidance. 40 minutes later, you have prettier pages and the same gaps in your brain. You try one practice question and freeze because the answer isn't there. That's the first spark of the cram, long before exam week ever arrives. Here's the part nobody says out loud. You're not avoiding studying. You're avoiding the feeling of not knowing, so you pick tasks that don't expose you. Rereading, highlighting, reformatting, busy work that protects your ego. Hours don't create grades, retrieval does. Then the countdown starts. You remember the quiz is in 2 days. You feel your stomach drop because you can't see a path from here to ready. So you do what you always do. You promise yourself you'll fix it this weekend. You'll do a big catch-up session. You'll lock in. And that promise buys you permission to stop today. This is the loop. Delay now, panic later, cram at the end, repeat. It's not a discipline problem. It's a system that treats studying like an emergency. Comment deposit plus your usual study time, even if it's small. That's you choosing identity over impulse. The turning point is not motivation. It's one calendar decision that removes debate from your day. You stop trying to study when you feel like it, and you build a daily deposit. You're going to use the daily deposit loop. A small deposit each day, plus one quick check each week, so panic never builds. First, rebuild the finish line. Open your syllabus and write the exam date at the top of a page. Under it, list what the test actually demands, not chapters, outputs. Problem types, essay themes, definitions, formulas, cases. If you can find a past exam or practice set, copy the categories. Now your brain has targets instead of vague fear. Second, shrink the daily unit. Your deposit must be small enough to complete on a bad day. 20 minutes. 10 recall questions. 1 problem set section. When the unit is small, discipline stops feeling like a personality test. It becomes an atomic habit you can repeat. You don't need a new personality. You need a new system. Third, change the method. The deposit is not rereading. You close your notes and pull the answer out. Write the definition from memory, then check it. Solve one problem without looking, then correct your miss. Outline the essay from a blank page, then patch the weak spots. This is training, not exposure. This is why cramming dies. Cramming exists because your first real test happens the night before. With daily retrieval, the test happens in tiny pieces all week. Your gaps show up early while they're cheap to fix. You're never surprised by what you don't know. Now add a boundary, because your environment will always compete. Put your phone out of reach. Close every tab that isn't the next task. Set a timer for the deposit and don't renegotiate it mid-session. You're not trying to be perfect. You're trying to make starting easy and drifting hard. If your schedule is chaos, good. Chaos is exactly why you need a pre-decided routine. Attach the deposit to an anchor you already have, right after lunch, before your first class, the moment you get home. Same time, same place, same first action. Decisions are the tax that kills consistency. And here's the rule that ends the catch-up lie. Never end a day with, "I'll study tomorrow." End it with, "I made a deposit." Even 10 minutes keeps your brain connected to the material. Even one recall test keeps the thread alive. Today, run the daily deposit loop at a real time you can protect. Not when you feel ready, when your calendar says so. After 7 days of deposits, something changes. You stop feeling haunted by the course. The work becomes smaller because you keep touching it. Your anxiety drops, not because the class got easier, but because you stopped disappearing from it. That is what monk mode does for students. It removes the noise, so focus can return faster than you expect. Here's the blueprint to make this cramming-proof for the next 30 days. Schedule one daily deposit block for the next 2 weeks. Treat it like a class, not a suggestion. Inside that block, do retrieval first. Questions, problems, blank page recall, or teaching it out loud. Then patch the one gap you exposed and stop. Stopping on time is part of the system. Stop measuring study by hours. Start measuring it by gaps closed. Stop starting with rereading when you're scared. Stop keeping your phone within arm's reach. If your environment keeps pulling you away, it's not a willpower issue. It's a setup issue. You don't fail because you're weak. Your days are overloaded. Once a week, do a 30-minute checkpoint. Rotate through each exam category fast and mark what feels slow. That list becomes your next week's deposit menu. Now you're studying what gets tested, not what feels comfortable. Now the recovery rule, because life will hit your schedule. If you miss a day, do not punish yourself with a marathon. Do the smallest deposit the next day, first. Fast recovery beats perfect streaks. This is discipline you can live with, not discipline that breaks you. 2 weeks before the exam, you don't cram. You slightly increase the deposit size and tighten the boundaries. You keep sleep steady because fatigue destroys recall. You keep your focus narrow because overload kills learning. Exam week becomes review, not survival. Before you click away, write one sentence in the comments. Day 1, 20 minutes at Watang. Be specific. Name the class and the exact time. This is your contract, not a mood. Commenting tells YouTube this is content that matters, and it forces your brain to stop negotiating. If you have a friend who keeps saying they'll lock in later, send them this and tell them you're building deposits, not drama. Then watch Monk Mode Mindset. Stop quitting. Start for good, right now, so your next decision stays aligned with focus instead of panic. Train your mind, and your life will follow.